So let's now link up with Martin Munene, who's in Sagana, with the latest development on President Uhuru Kenyatta's meeting with the Central Kenya leaders. Martin, good morning. It's good to see you there. What are the main concerns of the Central leaders that they want to table before the President?
All right. This morning, and like you say, we are outside the Sagana State Lodge this morning, and where we expect leaders, political leaders, leaders from the community, religious leaders, all these people to actually converge here this morning to meet President Uhuru Kenyatta. As you can see, this is just one of the gates. This is the gate where we expect elected leaders to actually be using to get or gain access to the State Lodge. We've got another gate elsewhere where other members of the community, religious leaders are using. Now, there has been a lot of talk about this particular meeting. Last week, for example, the president was expected to be in Murang'a, but he did not show. And so this is a meeting that a lot of people have been waiting for, because the region has been, or the mountain has been rumbling because of some issues. When it comes, for example, to the economy, what this region depends on is agriculture. Coffee has been problematic. Tea has also been problematic. Milk at the same time has also been a problem. But for example, in coffee, we are seeing about 3 million shillings that has been set aside, or 3 billion shillings that has been set aside to try revive this particular sector. And so we expect, as much as the conversation around what will happen has been closely guarded, we expect issues that affect the region to be discussed. Another issue that has been raised by leaders has been the element of this region not receiving adequate infrastructural development. We know that the president or the government intends to actually launch, we don't know when yet, but the Sagana or the road from Keno to Marwa. That is a road, a dual carriage road that will link about 3 or 4 counties within this region. So we expect the area of infrastructural development to also be looked into. But besides that, we also expect issues of politics to come into play. For example, Central Kenya has been having the issue that who is the Mount Kenya kingpin? Some people trying to come and position themselves as people who are going to take over after President Kenyatta exits the scene. That is after 2022. But at the same time, there's also the question of BBI. As much as it has not yet been made public, there is the element of a lot of people talking about it. There have been people who've actually come out and made pronunciations about the same, some supporting, and of course, some are opposing. Like you know, Mount Kenya, when it comes to politics, has had a division. There are those that are aligned or that seem to be supporting the president. That is the Kieleweke team. There is the other team that is commonly known as Tanga Tanga. And as you can see right now, those vehicles coming in, we believe the governors coming in now from different regions within this particular area. So we expect that this meeting will be addressing these issues when it comes to matters economy. But at the same time, it comes barely weeks after the census results were actually announced. And therefore, there is also the question of representation. Some members of the community, especially leaders, have been feeling that this region has been receiving a raw deal, and therefore they wanted reviews when it comes to resources allocation, at the same time representation. And therefore these are some of the things that we expect this meeting will be looking into. But of course, like I said earlier, the agenda of this meeting has been, really guarded, and so we are not yet very sure what this meeting is about. But from the ground, the way people are talking, these are some of the things that they would like the president to address, and these are the things that the leaders or the people who are coming here would like to hear. At the same time, because we understand part of the team that is coming here include administrators, then we also know that the president had instructed administrators to actually take charge of infrastructural development and other projects, government projects in this region, because initially they were being overseen by politicians. But in a bid to ensure that these things are actually happen and there is no politics around it, he had charged county commissioners and their juniors to actually take charge of these particular projects. And therefore, because they're here, we expect that issues of development to actually be discussed. If you remember, there was a time leaders actually came out in the open and said this region has not been receiving any development. And so we expect that some of these answers they have been seeking, they will be receiving them from the president this day. But it's a wait and see game here. But I can confirm that people have started coming dignitaries have started getting in. On the other side of the gate, we have seen religious leaders also coming in. We've seen also local administrators from this region coming in. And therefore, we do not yet know exactly what time this meeting will start. But we're here trying also to get to know who has yet come, who has not yet come. And these are things that, of course, you're going to keep updating the viewer this morning. From Nyeri County, I bring it back to you in studio. I'm Martin Munene.
Martin, so that is one of the concerns of the leaders there. A bit of politics will take part, but what are the concerns of the people on the ground? What are they telling you from there?
All right, Trevor, on the ground, truly, people have actually been having a lot of complaints, especially when it comes to matters farming. Nyeri County, Murang'a County, Kirinyaga, the entire region heavily depends on coffee, on tea, and also on dairy farming. And these three things have actually, these three sectors have actually been very problematic. And therefore, people on the ground actually want to feel like there is a change. And the change they want is actually little or change in their pocket money, in their pockets, because they are farming. For example, the coffee sector, you see farmers are receiving about 50 shillings or even 30 shillings per kg of coffee. They feel that that is not sustainable, it's a loss. And if you go, for example, to the dairy sector, initially if you went around central Kenya, a lot of people had cows in their homes. Nowadays, not very many people have, because it is not sustainable, because the money that they're receiving for their milk is very, very little. When we go to tea sector, there has been a lot of problems, especially in the last year. People saying that the money they are receiving is not adequate, they want changes, and therefore for the ordinary Kenyan or for the ordinary Mount Kenyan resident, they're not very interested in politics. What they want is policies that will ensure that their daily activities, especially those who are farmers, will actually be rewarding to them. Their lifestyle has actually been improved. Nyeri County, for example, has the universal healthcare, but this has not been replicated in other counties. Of course, some counties are paying for their Medicare, but in Nyeri County, for example, they're not paying for. So for the Kenyan Mwananchi, or for the ordinary Mount Kenya resident, some of the things they'd want the president to look really into are issues around money, issues around the economy, issues around things that they go and do every single day, and most of this revolved around farming. Back to you, Trevor.
Martin Munene there with a very comprehensive analysis of what the people on the ground are concerned about and what the leaders are most likely going to table before the president as soon as he arrives in Nyeri. That's at the Sagana State Lodge.